guys, it's Igor McDonald Video Games, and today we're going to respond to a soy-consuming cuck, which claims to be a philosopher called Brad Wilcox.
Marriage might have been fine for your parents or grandparents, but of what value is it today? Isn't it, as more and more young people seem to be saying, just a piece of paper? Well, it turns out that piece of paper might be the most valuable thing you will ever own. Take the case of Doug Talby. At age 18, Talby worked a minimum wage job operating a press at a factory in Indiana and lived in his parents' basement. I didn't have a care in the world, Talby says. I didn't even have any bills. But after marrying at 19 and having kids...
Why the fuck should anyone marry at 19? It's too early.
Talby's perspective changed. I had to step up and think about others and start taking care of them. Talby quit his factory job and joined the Army, where he made significantly more money and received housing and health care paid for by the military. Whenever he saw a chance at promotion, he pursued it. It meant more money and benefits for himself and his family.
It's not himself, it's his wife and family.
Recently, in a bid to further boost his family's income, he left the Army to work as a finance manager at a car dealership. He's now pulling in 6 figures. Men who see no need to marry, or who are reluctant to marry until they make more money, could benefit from Talby's discovery. Marriage has a transformative effect on the behavior, emotional health, and financial well-being of adults, especially men. Men who get married work harder.
Because we need to support idiots and resource wasters known as women.
More strategically, and earn more money than their single peers from similar backgrounds. Marriage also transforms men's social world. They spend less time with friends and more time with family. They go to bars less and to church more.
Explain me, who in the world of a modern person would want to go to church and not have and lose their friends? Nobody. That's not a benefit. It's a con.
In the words of Nobel Prize winning economist George Akerlof, men settle down when they get married. If they fail to get married, they fail to settle down. Our own research bears out Akerlof's view. Married men work about 400 hours more per year than single men with equivalent.
Wait for me to eat. Alright, here we go again. The only reason men work harder is because of stupid resource wasters known as women. And women are not trustworthy. Because of the Me Too movements and their feminist movement. Let's start.
Backgrounds. A Harvard study also found that married men were much less likely than their single peers to quit their current job unless they had another one lined up.
Because married men are forced to work because of stupid women who don't know how to earn money themselves. I thought when you reach 18, you'd be an adult and know how to support yourself. But women behave more like children. They have to use the men to support them.
All this translates into a substantial marriage premium. On average, married men earn almost 20% more than their single peers.
Explained by women waste a lot of money.
That's even after controlling for differences in education, race, ethnicity, and other background factors. You can read more about this in my study, For Richer, for Poorer, How Family Structures Economic Success in America. Why is there such a substantial marriage premium? There are at least
It's not a premium, it's a con.
4 important reasons. 1. After marrying, men assume a new identity. Marriage is one of the last rites of passage into manhood remaining in our society.
You mean last rites of passage into male slavery because that's more like it.
Argues sociologist Stephen Knock. He found that
You mean Cuckologist Stephen Knock?
marriage engenders an ethic of responsibility among men, as well as a newfound sense of meaning and status in the world. 2. Married men are motivated to maximize their income.
Here we go again with this idiot. The only reason married men even want to earn more unnecessary money is because they have stupid women who are more like children that need supporting. And even children, and even a 5-year-old retard toddler is more trustworthy than a woman.
This means having a different attitude toward their job. They work more hours and make better work choices. Studies find that men increase their work hours after marrying.
Again explained by women don't know how to make money themselves, so they need a man to support them.
Sociologist Elizabeth Gorman concludes that married men are more likely to value higher paying jobs than their single peer.
Because single peers are not forced to earn more money to support another person.
3. There is evidence that employers prefer and promote men who are married.
Because married men
are often seen as more responsible and dedicated workers and are rewarded with more opportunities.
I'll tell you why. Married men are completely controlled by their employers. A single man can refuse to work at something because he doesn't like something, because he can always get hired in another job. But married men are forced into that one little job, and they are going to be controlled by and they are going to have to do whatever the boss says because they need money, because stupid women are always wasteful when it comes to resources.
To advance. 4th and finally, married men benefit from the advice and encouragement of their wives, who have an obvious interest in their success.
Because of resources, that's why. And I don't need an advice from my wife, which I hope I never have, to improve myself and to get money.
A better motivator than your spouse. The tragedy is that despite
No, there's no better motivator than MGTOW.
all the good news we keep learning about the benefits of marriage, the institution
You mean the bad things about the marriage? What you just said over the entire video is why you should never marry.
is in retreat. In 1960, 72% of all adults ages 18 and older were married. Today, it's 49%.
Don't you realize something? In 1960, there was no full divorce. In 2016, there is no full divorce, which allows women to ruin men and everything they have.
In 1960, the average age at which men married was 23. Today, it's 29. The consequences of this are negative across the income spectrum, but they are especially so for those in the lower and middle classes. Marriage is a clear path to a better life. It always has been.
No, it's a path for a worse and miserable life. Don't you see that married women often want to become single again, but have no choice to because of the laws?
Plenty of data to confirm it. But if you still don't believe me, just ask Doug Talby and millions like him. I'm Brad Wilcox, Associate Professor of Sociology.
Oh, little Cuck professor. I don't believe you, and I've just schooled you, owned you, and debunked you.
At the University of Virginia.
Can you imagine how embarrassing is a young 13-year-old schooling a fake psychologist?
For Prager University.